Let's start by understanding the purpose of sketching and establish the need to learn the same. According to Oxford Dictionary, communication is imparting, exchanging of information by speaking, writing, and some other medium. We are trying to explain or communicate something to one another. We use various media, many times in combination. The most commonly understood medium is language, either spoken or written. The media that does not involve writing or written or spoken words, such as gestures or sign or picture, are called non-verbal media. When it comes to communicating structures or objects with 3D geometry, we are usually dependent on visual media or visualizations such as diagrams, charts, illustrations, etc. Sketching is one such medium that can be used to communicate ideas. There are three purposes where visualization is employed by designers. First is as a rough representation, which is a counterpart of thinking aloud, and that is used to communicate with oneself. If we consider a final drawing, it is impossible to finalize all the details without sorting out the issues first. There is a layers and layers of decision making process which needs to be worked out separately, and then all these layers come together as one final effective solution. That is where rough representations and iterative development of a solution makes sense. As far as rough sketching is considered as a skill, it is easiest to learn and practice. Now we go to the second application of visualization, which is using it as a communication tool for talking or discussions with teammates and decision making. So communication with teammates for decision, you show semi-rough sketches which are slightly more developed than your rough sketch. In this case, you are sharing schematics with external agencies as well as vendors, or even funding agencies where they can send you feedback, then you can work on those further and modify them to slowly become a complete full-fledged solution. This stage requires moderate skills because there cannot be any communication gaps, where you need to draw proportionate objects or spaces that are geometrically close to reality, but they still need not have very polished look and all the details incorporated at this level. Now we come to the third and last application, which is drawing as a representation tool or visualization as a representation tool. These are extremely polished. They are complete with all the features and details. The purpose of these sort of communication is mainly for promotional purpose, and it requires highly specialized skills and lot of practice. So when we are talking about sketching, it is not the other two levels. It is the first level where it's for communicating with oneself and loud thinking. So that is what we will focus on. Let's take a deep dive into sketching and understand how we can use sketching as an observation tool as well as thinking tool. Let's first understand main differences between a sketch and a technical drawing. Why we make sketches is to first and foremost allow ambiguity. Second is that there is a possibility of correction and step-by-step evolution, that is called iterations. And the third main difference is that you can keep sketching over in a rough sketch, which may not be a possibility in technical drawings. Now let's see these as examples. What you see on the screen is a sketch by an architect called Mario Botta, who designed TCS Noida. And in the building sketch, it's not really clear as to how the building would turn up to be, but the visualization makes it clear enough for the architect what he wants out of the building. So this is as a thinking tool when the architect is thinking with himself. And if you see the picture on the right hand side, it makes a lot of sense when we see the actual building standing. This was about allowing ambiguity where the building is not complete in the sketch, but the architect knows how these pieces are going to fit together. The second example is a sketch by Daniel Levinstein. And as we can see that he has sketched over and over on the buildings. So first, let us discuss what are iterations. So in this case, you're seeing 3 different options, that is the iterations, where the architect is taking the liberty to change something in each iteration. Eventually, they'll also make a sort of a quick model of this before taking the decisions that follow, right? So that is allowing iteration. And third, as you can see, that in the same sketch, the architect has sketched over the original sketch, and that's okay because it's a rough sketch. If it was a technical drawing, you can't do this, leaving, there are things that are open to interpretation. That is not possible in a technical drawing, but it is very much possible in a sketch. So you can see there are red highlights on the final one, but rest of the drawing is sort of exploratory, allowing multiple options in the same drawing, sketching over and over.